All right, welcome back to Return on Life. It's myself, Peter Lount. I got Sebastian Carrig here as well. Sebastian, welcome back.
Hey, Peter, glad to be back.
Today we're going to talk about living benefits. People see that as maybe, we've kind of gone through this list of why nobody needs life insurance. And this is one of those things. And we'll say, well, I see more preference to put my money into living benefits. And so that can be disability, critical illness, or long-term care.
Right.
Maybe other elements that we're not capturing, but that's kind of the essence of what we're talking about, as opposed to life insurance. But maybe we can um, break that open a bit and have a discussion on that.
Yeah. So if you're young, maybe you don't need life insurance. You don't have any, need for protecting your income or your assets or whatnot. So yeah, maybe disability because the chances of you becoming disabled are far greater, or a critical illness makes more sense.
Right.
So I think it's a very valid option to look at living benefits because, suffer a heart attack, cancer, or stroke. What happens to you? Yes, you could use a life insurance policy and use the cash values, but think about having a policy that you suffer one of these conditions, let's say. It unlocks, $250,000. That can give you the runway to get back to a healthy position.
Right. It also can be, and so it's similar to where we talk about something like, I know something like, say, term insurance. We're talking about life insurance, right? It's something you get in case something happens, right? It's always, it's going to be there. There's probably some nuances to it too, in terms of making sure that you can actually take advantage of it. Part of what I pick up too is like similar to the term piece is you may not ever use it either, right? So it
Right.
is, it's ensuring your not ensuring your, I guess, lack of a better term, ensuring your health. Would you say?
Yeah,
Uh,
sort of. Yeah, ensuring your health. That is, if your health is not no longer where it was, it would
right.
unlock this.
Yeah. And so that to me, I think we're definitely seeing. I don't know. In general, I think definitely we're seeing people living longer. So there
Oh,
are going to be a need for some of these things in the future, right? Whether it be some type of long term care or retirement facility, those types of things as well. Like it's notable. The longer you live, the more that we're going to see some need for more medical care overall.
yeah. Yeah, and you know what? It's interestingly enough is I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he was talking about the fact that um, the biggest concern that wealthier individuals have is outliving their money based
Mm,
on their lifestyle. So yeah,
right.
like you're protecting your income or your health. It correlates. So if something were to happen,
Protect your business, right? Yeah, like
protect
it's just
business.
definitely something happens. Then I think we've had this discussion before, right? Something happens to you for 3 or 4 months. What happens to your business, right? And
Yeah, you're out of the business for 3 months. What happens? You're 100% right, Peter. Is so these policies can make sense to make sure you've got that runway to get back to healthy, and it doesn't affect your business.
right. And so I guess you know it's not as black and white as we kind of put it either, right? Because I think to me it's not necessarily mutually exclusive. Um, you could potentially use life insurance instead. Maybe talk through that, and then we'll talk about how you can use both as well. So how could life insurance potentially work, and what specific type would you use to create that impact?
Right. So, and I'm speaking specifically about Equitable's product here when I talk about this one aspect is you've got this buildup of cash over time, and we're talking about the par policy. So you're building up cash, and you get to a certain point, and you suffer a disability, and depending on the condition, you could unlock the cash tax free from that policy. There is a provision in our plan that allow that. I think there's some others that that have that same ability as well. So that's one way. Or the second way is, as you're building up this cash and you need to supplement. Let's say you've got a disability plan and you need to supplement more because it's not going to pay, you know, a certain amount, and you need extra money for the business or continuation. You can always take a loan, take a withdrawal, third party loan, you know, so you've got options.
Right.
And that's the real strength, as we were talking about before, is the flexibility of options is invaluable.
And then when you do that, so yeah, policy loan could be directly from the insurance company.
Right.
That's a contractual right as a policy owner to be able to do that. Third party loan would be different. Could be a bank, another type of lender that might, help collateralize that. The other piece too to it is it doesn't make it exclusive of. Um, so let's say like you do that, but you could also. We're not saying don't put in those living benefits because those definitely can play a part too. The part that we talk about with life insurance is, we kind of had that discussion this morning with, Matt's questions, right? Is, what are the other areas where potentially this could impact, right? And so you're talking about living benefits, but, when the power of that tool is, can go in so many different ways if you're looking at life insurance, right?
Exactly. And you know as well as I do is, you know, why take a policy loan, why access the cash, is it doesn't impact on the policy,
Right.
and that is like fundamental. And I think insurance advisors have something that no one else has in the market, that ability to utilize that tool.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely something that, even a discussion with a business owner or family is here are the other elements where this can help you that, instead of we kind of had that discussion this morning, it's not about like here are all the things it can do, but if I ask you, that we go back to that question, what's important to you about the wealth you've created? It can go in a number of different ways. We give you 4 points, but then even that can spiral out, right? So
Oh
maybe
yeah.
go through those just as an example, so we can kind of just create the idea for people in terms of how it can empower you. So one is enjoy it now, right?
Right now.
Number two is you
Um, what's it called? Transition to your family, like leaving it for your family, intergenerational wealth.
next
And
one is preserve it from CRA.
yeah, and you know how many, we talked about this before. How many people don't recognize how much erosion happens in Canada to the wealth that you've created?
Right. You fight
And
tax
more and more.
your whole
Yeah,
life. You fight it your whole life, and then the biggest tax day comes the day you die. Man,
exactly.
yeah.
And I
Uh,
think, you know what, we don't want to get into politics, but it's a big impact, you know. And think about successful people. We see it every day, and they're working, they're forgetting family time just to build, you know, wealth, and then for the erosion. So I think it has a huge part in that conversation.
and the fourth one was giving back. How do you,
Back.
would you like to give back? And so this is just like that becomes a much more expansive discussion. You're looking at living benefits. That is one part of the puzzle. I think as soon as you add in
Mhm.
life insurance, it gives you, to me, like it just opens up my imagination in terms of where it can go. And like every single person, every single business, every single person is going to have a different need or want what they envision. And if you empower them with a tool like this, amazing what they can come up with.
Exactly. And you know what I think about it? Like, I mean, this is all ingrained in the Insurance Act, which is a separate part of law. And you know, governments love this because you're taking care of what your responsibilities are. It unlocks cash that will pay your obligations. So they get paid on the tax side regardless. It's not evasion of taxes. It's, you know, you're creating a vehicle to fund your tax problems, or take care of your family or charity.
And I would argue that it's also taking the burden off the government too, right? If you're able to
Does
preserve that wealth, then it's less that they're going to have to provision for the rest of us in a way. So
Exactly.
yeah. So the idea today was really just, I know we kind of went back on this tangent back to life insurance. We're not saying don't do living benefits. You certainly can and should, I think, definitely explore that as an option. But what we're saying is not to preclude that from getting life insurance, or at least the consideration, because there's so much more opportunities you can open up by looking at that in addition to.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
especially if you're younger too. Like maybe you defer their life insurance or you buy term, lock
Yeah.
in your deferability, because we always worry about the fact that if health changes, now you've got no tools to use.
It's just that I don't know. It's just this thing that you kind of feel like it's almost like in this hamster wheel, the same discussion over and over. But it's just not your mind. Our minds are not necessarily built to think about some of these things. I think
Absolutely.
I feel like it's our responsibility to share some ideas with people so that they can create discussions with their own advisors or professionals to make sure that they have the right plan in place.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Sebastian, this was a good one today. Any closing notes, and how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, no, I think kudos on bringing this up over and over again, different angles that we look at. So thanks for educating consumers, and I'd say listen, look at advisors like yourselves, that's got a team to support you. So reach out to Peter, reach out to your advisor, have those conversations, and best way to reach me, LinkedIn or scarag at equitable.ca.
All right, and Peter, you can reach me at on LinkedIn, and Peter at returnonlife.ca. Thanks till next week.
Till next week. Have a good week.